Hello and welcome to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. My view of humanity is a whole new tea. Hi, my lovelies. How's my royalty? How are my petty sippers? Well, you know the drill. Let's get something boiling hot or freezing cool to sip on. And yeah, I mean, you can always get something room temperature, but we're not basic in this channel. No, we're not basic at all. So, okay. Mm, I'm going to be talking on and off. Well, my channel is as messy as my life, so almost everything's on and off. And I will be getting, yeah, I keep saying I'm going to get to the Reddit, but it's like while working on my novel, doing research on different things, especially on some of the new novel ideas and even the greeting cards. I have a new series idea because I use AI for most of the art. I'm going to be looking for illustrators to hire once I start getting money coming in and I know the capital and the budgeting I have for it and everything. But yeah, the writing is all me. I write all of the insides and stuff like that. So yeah. And some people aren't going to want to buy it because of that. I understand, but I'm honest. And that's one thing I'm going to like even though, yeah, if you've been listening to my channel, you're going to know how all of my life people called me a liar while telling the truth to the point where once I got old enough, I was like, or even when I was young, I was like, I might as well lie. You're going to call me a liar anyway. So, but yeah, with my business, I tell the truth, nothing but the truth. With my candles, my ideas are from myself. I do a lot of research and things like that, and do a lot of research on even the formula for the waxes. I'm learning so much about the details of what enhances a candle's value and things like that. So it's interesting, nerdy, and fun, and challenging and pricey. Yeah. So, but it's coming together. I'm going to be ready with them within the next month or two. So you're going to hear about it. You're going to see about it. So let's go. But this episode, yeah, it's like, I guess I'm excited talking more about the business on a day like this. And yes, I'm posting this the same day I'm recording because at first I'm like, what am I going to talk about? And it's like, especially with history and politics and things that are going on right now, what am I going to talk about? But I keep thinking about when I had the Jewish pastor, the rabbi and stuff, come to our church. He came like once a year. I don't know, like either I miss him, like because now I go to different ones. It's like, 'cause I'm still a member, blah blah blah. Like if you've been listening, you already know some of the church Christian trauma that I have been through all of my life, so you'll understand why I'm like, yeah, I've been going to your church for about over 25 years, but back it up because yeah, I see there's some dangers within your sermons and what you preach, in my opinion. But I've been thinking a lot about the 50 ways of love, and I found a list, and I want to do more research, but I've been thinking about the love that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. had for us as Black people, as a community, as humanity, the love he had for us, and how empathetic and selfless he was, and how now with current conservatives and MAGA people trying to tarnish and ruin and take away the love and the history that he had made. They want to put him down for trying to fight for equal rights. And a lot of the racist bigots, no good, awful, terrible, dehumanizing. Sorry, I'm still just kind of, I don't know. It's just they're trying to make sure they disrupt the progress, halt the progress, because they see us as, especially a Black community, even though some of the brown community are fighting with them to fight against us, to put us down, to call us lazy, to say we're dumb, to say we're not worth it. And I mean, especially you guys know what happened with the colleges. You already know the Supreme Court, what they did because of part of the brown community. We all are, and now they want, after what they had done, and when they found out what they had done was awful and a terrible mistake, because now it hurt them, not the black people. It hurt them, not the black people. And actually more black people started getting accepted into the colleges and universities, and their numbers were decreasing. So now they are begging African Americans to come together and fight so that they can recreate and do the homework again of what we had already done in our past. Mm. But then they want to say that both parties are the same. They want to say Republicans and Democrats are the same, while it's like they themselves are helping the colonizers strip them of their rights, strip them of having their, like, I won't say life's values, but being able to achieve and tackle great and amazing things and challenging things. Because a lot of the colonizers out here think they're obligated, think they're owed, think that since they were born of that color, that they are automatically due it. Mm. But then we had an amazing man throughout history. And, I'll try to make sure on, Malcolm X's birthday. I need to look that up now, too. But, I want to, give him props, too. Because the way they were a lot alike and a very different. The love and how they expressed it was very different. Because with Dr. Martin Luther King, the love he had for humanity, and he tried to be non-judgmental of the ones who hated us. Instead, he tried to come in peace. He tried to show a lending hand, and he tried to love thy neighbor even though thy neighbor hated him. His heart was so big and so pure. And but now we're hearing parts of the conservative MAGA Republicans. Oh, he was a hateful man. He was this. He was awful. He was like, just they're saying, they're trying to ruin history so much because they don't want the black person to ever be the hero. If you've been paying attention, they never want a black person to be the hero. Because even now with slavery, they're trying to say, oh, slavery is fine, it's in the Bible. It's like some have even talked about Harriet Tubman. And then it's like they're trying to, like, well, we all know the history of how our police was created because the original name were slave catchers. And so throughout history, the slave catchers, they remained racist. They remained racist and hateful towards the African American community. They targeted and wanted to only pull over and jail and imprison the African American community so that they can enslave them all over again. And one reason why, like, even with the FBI and like the higher government powers or whatever, they were sneaking in special candy in cars and in just different places in order to entrap and in order to create addiction within the African American population, because they wanted to make sure they didn't have any new heroes pop up. Because Martin Luther King did so much in his time, I feel like they were threatened by, oh no, if Dr. Martin Luther King was able to do this before his untimely, passing, what's the next generation going to do? If Dr. Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Rosa Parks, those powerful, and then there's so many more, and then because even with the Black Panthers, now we're seeing the Black Panthers come back out. We're seeing some parts of history come back out because they're seeing why they were needed in the first place. Now we're seeing why they were the heroes in the past in the first place. We're seeing the beauty and the wonderful, like, just creation of their entity now. Because back then they gave them a bad reputation as with the Black Panthers. They wanted to act like they were just violent and awful. And when they started off, they were trying to make sure the kids had tutoring and free lunches. They were trying to make sure they were fed. But then if you look at the last 20 years or whatever, when you look at Mrs. Obama, she was just trying to make sure all the kids got fed and that she decreased or helped decrease the obesity that was going out there. So she was trying to help with the school lunches. But then since it was a Black woman, they wanted to put her down. But now you see, like, look at what they're doing with that food pyramid. Look at what they're doing and talking about with saturated fats. While America's like one of the top reasons why people are passing away in our country is, well, with on top of obesity, heart disease and things like that. But yeah, saturated fats. It's like you want us to eat like what? And then you want like whole milk with lunches. Have we done the science? What's the science saying? I want to know what the science is saying. But yeah, they don't really listen to like yeah, so they canceled a lot of scientific studies, especially when it comes to people of color and women, because that doesn't, take care of their main character, which is the white man. Yeah, it's like they don't want to do that, of course. But we have to look in the history, look at our past, and study what worked before, because I feel like we need to start redoing what was and bring it to the present day, because our, like, as of now the future is looking a little scary, because right now that's what the MAGA is doing right now. They are repeating the past, because now we got these concentration camps, and like even they're putting parts of slavery within these concentration camps, having 2 by 2 boxes, so when one of their people are not obeying them or doing things exactly as they say, they can put these people in a 2 by 2 box in the sun in Florida for up like 12 to 24 hours, just leave them there with no food or water, and then giving them food with maggots. But it's like a lot of these people did nothing wrong. People are like, oh, they're illegal. Okay, if they, but then it's really crazy because they say that while a lot of colonizing people, they are going to Mexico, they are going to Europe, they're going to other places, overstaying their welcome, overstaying their visas and everything like that. But they think that's okay because they're the main character. They think everything should, you know, be okay, or all of the rules should just slide by because of who they are. They're the main character. We live around them. That's what they like. They want to act like the sun. They want to be the sun of the universe. Like, I don't know. It's just the way their solar systems in their minds. And for some of them, the Earth is flat. So that's amusing. How come all the other planets are round? When you look at all of the pictures of the galaxies, how come all of the other ones are round, but you think ours is like the only one that is flat? How do you think that came about? How do you think that even happened? Yeah, just, sorry, just I'm just wondering. I'm just wondering because yeah, I still hear conservatives, and even with the dating app, some of these conservative men who try to match with me try to say, like, when they see I don't date Republican or anyone on the right, you're so dumb. You think the Earth is round? Oh, all right, all right, yeah. If you think I'm dumb for that, I'm proudly okay. Okay, okay. But Dr. Martin Luther King was a brilliant, smart man too. Because one, and that's, I keep bringing this up, but I still will never forget that one rapper performer guy who said we don't need to read. When you look at a lot of our greats in the past, the people who fought for us, they were educated, and the way they were able to fight for us was because of how they were able to get educated. Dr. Martin Luther King's like speeches and books and story, like he was able to write that because of his intellect. He was able to break down and get deep into the subject matter because of his education. But now we have people within like the Gen X and millennial generations having the nerve to tell Generation Z and A, you don't need to read, you don't need to be educated. Not getting educated keeps you enslaved. It keeps your mind trapped within a society that wants to take you over. Don't you do it. Don't you dare. Pick up a book, or even if it's an odd, like, oh yeah, because yeah, he only wants to do Audible. So yeah, do some Audible, especially like, you know what, if you're driving, if you're cleaning up around the house, things like that. Yes, it's like, because while I'm cleaning up around the house or doing chores, whatever, I turn on like business YouTubers and I listen to their input, their ideas, or their tips and things like that. So I'm learning while I'm cleaning. And but then it's like, I love picking up books, and then I'm writing my books and things like that. So don't allow anybody to stop you from getting educated. Education is powerful. But some people out here, they want to make sure they stay on top of you. They want to make sure they have no competition. So if they can tell you not to read, especially if they're too lazy to get educated, they will be more determined to tell you not to get educated. I've learned this even with dating. A lot of these men out here, they told me I was dumb for getting my master's. They told me I was dumb for getting my second master's. Yeah, they called me dumb for getting both of them. Then they called me dumb for getting my certifications. Mr. Lockakey, he tried his best to stop me from my second master's and certifications. He would threaten to punch walls to stop me. So while looking at Dr. Martin Luther King, the way he was determined with his education, the way he was determined with educating others, the way that he held hands in order to help guide the path towards our equal future. He did so much. But then, current day, you hear people talking about you don't need to be educated. You need to be financially educated, but you don't need to be educated. When we need the education, we need to know how to read so that we can make sure we know our freedoms. Because right now we have a Supreme Court who they keep taking away from our freedoms. They're now saying that the police can judge us based off of our color of our skin, which the police were already doing that in the first place, which is one reason why we had Black Lives Matter. Yeah, but it's funny. It's kind of funny because it's like once we had Black Lives Matter, oh, that didn't make the colonizers feel welcomed. They felt excluded because they were not the main character within that. So then they had to turn it around and say all lives matter. When we already know their lives matter. Everything's centered around them. It's like if they're not the main character, especially in a movie, show, book, or anything like that, they don't want it. They won't read it. They will fight against it. They will like interrogate, like, and just put down the person who plays the main character so much and say racist, awful, terrible, and despicable things as humanly possible in order to get their point across. They will bully and troll and just be absolutely awful, terrible human beings. So I look up to Dr. Martin Luther King because he helped motivate, like, because I get hateful messages, like, yeah, especially on the dating apps with my standards. I get so many hateful messages. And I know I will probably never date Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. type, but he was an amazing man. The way that he gave self to others, the way that his determination and his just compassion for others, and he knew his life was in danger. It's like getting threats but still fighting on. because he knew the possibility of the black community having more rights, being able to go into the once white only, but now you see MAGA trying to bring back segregation in schools and into certain communities and having whites only towns. So we got to pay attention what's going on, people. But at the same time, they want to say Republicans are the same as Democrats. And I'm not saying Democrats are perfect, because who we I one day I'll start talking about how, yeah, the left needs to get their act together. Yeah, get their act together. And because like they have great ideas, they want to do amazing things, but they don't market well. They don't market well. And the Republicans don't market it well, but they do it in such a way and fashion where people remember. And within marketing, that is crucial and important, because the orange man loves mocking and trolling and harassing and like being just a plain bully to people. And for the right, like a lot of the people on the right, that attracts them. They love that. And ironically, that's the Christian side, but a lot of the Christians love the bullying, the hateful, awful, terrible treatment, while the good book, while the 50 ways of love, and all the times the Bible says love. Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? In all of the versions of the Bible, the word love is in the book at least 310 times. One of the versions, like at least two or three of the versions, over 500, close to around 720 something. But at least each one at least 310 times. But then we look at that party as a whole and we see that a lot of them love to hate. They love to dehumanize. They love to belittle. They love to exclude. They love to be bigots. The way that they love is so just. But then when you see also a lot of them, they voted more for money. They voted more for capitalism than they did the human beings of this earth. But when you look at Dr. Martin Luther King, he cared about humanity. He cared about giving and making sure that everyone had. He wanted to make sure of the equality within the population. He wanted to make sure that African American communities were finally going to be able to have the opportunity to have freedom. And the American dream, which now, trying to have that American dream with a house and everything, yeah, look at it. Look at it. But then you have a party that loves to hate people so badly. But instead of loving and trying to understand the people who may not go exactly by your good book, you hate them. You judge them. You want to just, like some of the churches say, to eliminate them instead of praying for them, loving them, and, inviting them to the church anyway. And don't just say, you're going to hell, you're going to hell. Instead, just, preach about the goodness. And I think that's like when I talked about Drewski, the comedian, like with the last episode or one of the last episodes. Oh, if I posted it, now I'm wondering, did I? Well, I'm messy, but if it's not out yet, it will be soon. But it's just, oh yeah, it'll be tomorrow. But it's just crazy how now you're looking at these pastors and you're listening to what they say. Because Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was a pastor. But listen to what his dreams were. Listen to what his thoughts were. Listen to the compassion and the giving and the sacrifice. But now listen to today's past. They want, like, we have to buy their planes. We give and like, but then look, watch and see what they give. Look and see what they do. The capitalism within the religion is interesting. It's very interesting, yeah. So, but I am gonna keep fighting for my rights and what I need to do. I'm going to fight for my American dream. I am going to continue to study and get educated and learn as much as I can, because a lot of the colonizers, that's exactly what they don't want me to do. They want to be able to say that I'm lazy. They want to be able to say that I'm less than, that I don't deserve, that anything and everything I get is only because I'm black, even though I've worked 10 to 20 times as harder. And don't forget, black women are the most educated demographic in this country. Don't you ever forget that. But they didn't forget that, because look at what they're doing to colleges and universities and college loans in order to make sure a lot of women, especially women of color, especially black women, are not able to go or finish schooling. Look at what they're doing. Concentrate, listen, pay attention. Because we have to stay educated in order to try to take the put our foot on the gas instead of the brake. We need to start getting back on that road towards freedom and equality. With everything that they've put against us, it's like, because now it's like, even with getting educated, it's sometimes frustrating when I hear African Americans of my age and older and younger tell our future, if you get educated, you're trying to be white. You are tarnishing our future. You are ruining our future. You are telling our future black children that they are supposed to be uneducated, that they are not supposed to be able to read. I have witnessed so many people try to do that, and I refuse. So we need to target that American dream. We need to get back on the road towards what Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. I'm sorry, like today it's like, yeah, messing it up a few, but I've just been thinking a lot lately, especially about my goals and dreams, and as a black woman with a disability, it's been really hard. Even like, especially going to job interviews and or getting jobs at that clearly a mistake of a university, meeting a dean who would mock how I walk in front of other professors, to a point where the professors would come up to me and tell me to watch out for him. It's like, I'm working, I deserve that job, I earned that job. And I kept hearing students tell me I was doing, like, I teach differently, but I was doing a great job, because they were willing to be and learning how to be creative and open their minds and think differently. I was challenging them to be themselves and to understand the different levels of creativity and thought in the process. So I'm determined to continue that dream, because education and the fight for freedom and the fight for living your dream, I've had to fight all my life. I had to fight for, like, it's like, until I couldn't walk anymore, for people, like, for doctors to listen to me. I had to fight in order to even be considered for certain jobs. And then, like, being able to be like a professor for about 7 years. But no one, like, yeah, catch up with the over 600 episodes, catch up. But at the end of the day, be yourself. Fight for your freedom, fight for your worth. Don't let anybody tell you what you can and cannot do. The colonizer doesn't have to be the only main character. It's your life. You're the main character. Live it. Live your dreams. Be the best of who you can be. Show out and show love. Because, yeah, while you impress people, show it out of love and compassion. Be giving. Be the type of person that other people would be jealous of. And don't do it by pushing them down. Uplift them. Sometimes people are more jealous when you uplift others, and including them. When you're trying to uplift them, they're like, hey, what are you doing? You're not supposed to be doing this. Aren't you scared that I'm going to become your competition? Nah, baby. No, that's not how it works. Live the dream. Be the dream. Open your minds and your creativity and your love and compassion. But thank you so much for listening to the Handicapable Black Women Throne Room. I am a woman, I am of color, and I am handy capable. But most importantly, I am human and you're human too.